What's up, guys? My name is Beast Mode, and right now you're about to watch a team deathmatch game on Express. In all personal honesty, I freaking hate this map. It's one of my least favorite maps. For some reason, me and this map just don't click, but in this match, I clicked pretty well with it. End up going 35-1, so we're going to be rocking a 35 KD with the handy dandy old MP7, which I've just been feeling very comfortable with lately. Very lethal, very dangerous. I'm a dangerous man. But today, as you can see from the title, what I want to talk about, and I'll probably follow up in a couple more videos just about, maybe more so the school system in the next couple videos. But right now it's just the statement that education does not make you an intellectual. And I dare say education does not make you smarter, but I know that would confuse a lot of people because not many people would see past the literal meaning of what that is. Because obviously, to a point, education makes you smarter in the fact, if you never went to school, you wouldn't know that 6 times 6 is 36, 9 times 2 is 18, you wouldn't know about pronouns, verbs, derivatives, all that good stuff, your history, etc., etc. But what we're talking about is being an intellectual. Now, what does an intellectual mean? An intellectual means you can think for yourself. You can look into things, you can see ideas, you can see deeper meanings, you can look at things and logically deduct, logically argue and reason on, is this just? Is this moral? Is this the way we should be doing things? Just overall, have you developed your sense as a human being, in your values and in your morals? And the school system is not going to teach you that because the school system just is not formulated that way anymore. Now, if the school system wanted to teach you that, from the time, because really up until you get to college, you're probably not going to take many philosophy classes, but if you really wanted to kind of, improve your soul, become an intellectual, and learn how to think past the literal sense of things, to start thinking on the 4 levels of interpretation. And if you guys have read Dante's Inferno or heard of Dante himself, the author of that book, you guys have probably heard of the game Dante's Inferno, and you probably didn't even know that it's based off of an it's actually a poem. It's a really long poem, but it's a story essentially about Dante. He descends into hell. He goes through the 7 rings of hell, the 7 different, I can't remember what to call it right now, but basically he descends through hell, and it's just, there's a whole bunch of symbolism in that book, a whole bunch of underlying meanings on what it means to be human, our struggles, our faults, and just how human nature is. And a lot of people would read that book and be like, man, this is stupid, this is about a bunch of crazy stuff, because not a lot of people can see the deeper ideas and the deeper meanings and things. And that's why a lot of people don't like classic literature. It's why we prefer, to just always have music in, always be, if we do read, and I'm guilty of this because I've always been an avid reader, I've always loved to read, and until recently, I was always reading storybooks, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, the Inheritance trilogy, whatever it may be. And I'm not saying those books are bad, because they're definitely not. I love them. But they're storybooks. They're not necessarily literature. And the reason classic literature has stood the test of time is because the themes and the ideas about people and our struggles and the things that we go through and just everything about it is still relevant today, because it's never going to change. And lately I've been reading, for example, a lot of Socrates, which is usually written by Plato, one of his students. Recently just finished up the 1970 Nobel Prize winner. It's called Cancer Ward. It's a Russian literature book. And, a lot of people would read that and think the book itself is just boring as all boring. But there's a lot of ideas, a lot of underlying meanings. And once you can start to see things like that, and you don't rely on what you hear all the time, because in America, and this is why I'm telling you, education is not going to make you an intellectual. We are so drowned. We're constantly fed what to hear. Social media, it's good, but at the same time, it's bad. Technology is good, but at the same time, it's bad, because it's starting to kill the intellectual side of human beings, because we're always just constantly surrounded by everything, by music, by social media, etc., that we never actually just think. We never think about morals and values and the things that human beings struggle with. What can we do to better ourselves, to better our soul, the things that actually matter. And that's why education is never going to make you an intellectual, because the education system's never going to tell you anything like that. And, it's sad, and you're seeing the way America's going, and it's scary. I wish I was more on the latter side of my life, going out right now. Not saying I want to be old and die by any means, but it's scary to look into the future and see where we're going to go. So I'm going to leave you with that. Maybe a part 2 later. Peace. Oh yeah, my name's Beast Mode, guys. Haha, peace out.
Right frag! Can confirm.
UAV on standby.